The following telephone conversation is between Alan Emmins, author of Mop Men, and Neal Smither, CEO of Crime Scene Cleaners, Incorporated.
Neal.
Hey Neal, it's Alan.
Hey Alan.
How you doing?
Good man, how are you?
Yeah, not too bad. One of the first things I'm just interested in how business is right now.
Now Alan, I mean we're always pretty busy, you know, we're established, everyone knows us, it's just a matter of keeping our quality up.
And since I was over there working on Mop Men, you've made some changes to your business. I mean, what kind of things are you doing that you weren't doing then?
Well, now we opened up a Mortuary Transport division, and that's turned out to be the biggest transport division or transport company in the country. We're running 85 vehicles. We do about 1,800 removals a month. So what that allows is we contract with the first responders, such as the medical examiners. We remove the bodies for them. So any mess, I'm able to get our crime scene cleaner literature to the customer immediately and way before any of my competitors could even possibly hear about it. We've already got the job. And the division itself has generated an extra $4 to $5 million a year for our bottom line, which is a good thing. Happy with that.
What made you start this, the mortuary service?
Well, honestly, I was bored more than anything else. I was getting, I'd go to work at 8, I'd be done by 9:30 and go home, and I can only sit by the pool so long and read so many books before I go a little stir crazy. So I was in the Contra Costa County Coroner's office, and they were complaining about the current transport companies that were out there, and it kind of piqued my curiosity, so I did some research, and I figured, well, I'm already really set up to do this, so it was just a matter of buying the equipment and getting some staffing in place, and so I did, and we exploded rather quickly.
And then, I guess you pick up the bodies. Do you just take them straight to the mortuary? Is that it?
Either goes to the mortuary that we have under contract, or it comes to my facility for storage, or it goes to the medical examiner's office.
How are you storing bodies at your place? Is that?
Oh, I had a refrigerator built. We have storage capacity for 150 bodies.
Are you always looking for ideas that you can, or new divisions that you can add that are going to complement crime scene cleaners, or?
Absolutely. With my end goal being, establishing ourselves as a company that handles every single aspect of death. As far as our everyday services, we are trying to really encompass everything that could possibly come up in the death game.
So, I mean, it sounds like you want to own all aspects of death outside of the mortuary, right?
I think I'm interested in business as a whole. It's just death is the game that I know and I have good control over and generates the money for me at this point. But, I'm done with death at 45. After that, I'm definitely going to get into other avenues and money opportunities.
Why is that? Why do you feel there's only 4 more years for you there?
Well, I mean, I could probably go forever, but the longer I go, the more, I don't know, I guess calloused I become. I quite literally, I've had to hire people to do most everything as far as interacting with the customer base, because all I want to do is punch them in the throat and yell at them for being assholes. I'm really, any bit of politically correctness that was in me is now gone. So I'm smart enough to know that it's probably best for me not to deal with the people.
But how did that happen? Because you were always really good at handling the client, right?
And I'm still good at it. I just find it to be much more laborious now than I ever have before. I think I'm just finally hitting burnout, and at a certain point, it's going to be time for me to step away and get into something else.
Yeah. How long does the average crime scene cleaner last, would you say?
I would still say under a year, anywhere from 6 to 9 months, depending upon the stability of that person to begin with. Right now my crews are pretty darn phenomenal, but, it just takes a bad week for some of these guys and girls to lose their mind and fall apart on me, so you just don't know, Alan.
But what are some of the signs, or do you get to see the signs in some of your crime scene cleaners that tells you that they're starting to burn out?
Definitely, yeah. There's indicators. They become a little harder to get a hold of. Just not quite as on the ball and as enthused as they normally are. And usually the quitting process or the falling apart process takes a couple of weeks.
Mm-hmm.
But I always know, and then it's just a matter of how fast is this person going to really fall apart on me, and are they going to destroy my truck and steal my shit before they do it? So within a year ago, a really good guy, very intelligent, very good worker, just absolutely disappeared. Just disappeared with the vehicle, all of my equipment, everything.
Okay.
And we got a call one day from Portland, Oregon PD, and the truck was parked along the I-5 freeway up in Oregon. So you just don't know. I mean, people are people, Alan. They just really don't surprise me anymore, buddy.
Would you? Has there been anything strange or unusual that has happened lately?
Well, we have the San Mateo County contract for Adult Protective Services, so we're seeing a lot of elder abuse stuff now that I hadn't really been exposed to in great detail previously, and it's pretty disgusting, man. You have an 85-year-old little old lady and her kids lock her into a bedroom, padlock the sucker, and don't let her out. By the time we get there, Grandma's been trapped in a room in a bed for 6 months and has bed sores that have eaten through her bones of her hips. It's incredible.
Yeah.
It's really pretty incredible. Just last week, a kid got hit by a train, and our cleaning crews had to hit the tracks and pick up bits of flesh for, a half a mile down the track.
Okay.
So we're still doing the really severe, nasty stuff, no doubt about it. We just, I don't know, a month or so ago, we did a house, it's called a puppy mill, where the families raise and breed dogs and then sell them to the public. But this place, I mean, it was atrocious. Quite literally, Alan, the floors were nothing but dog feces. There were dead animals on the kitchen counters, and just filthy beyond anything you can imagine. It was just incredible. With the little old lady living there and bitching and moaning that we're there to clean it because she's under county order at that point.
Yeah.
But yeah, we're still seeing stuff that's on the very severe end of the spectrum, no doubt about it.
How did it feel to be reading about yourself?
It's surreal. It's a little strange. It's a little odd. Frankly, I think a lot of it was spot on as far as my personality goes. I don't try to hide that. You definitely, once you pick it up, you read it, rather than just tossing it on the airline seat next to you when you get off the flight. My favorite part is just my favorite, line is where you're driving up I-1 and because I was on the road expecting to see it come flying by you.
Yeah.
I like that. But yeah, I dug it.
Are you still?
And all of that stuff I keep, and if I drop dead tomorrow, my kids will at least know I worked hard and I was a bit of a jerk, and a little bit more about me.
Yeah. Cool. But Neal, it's been great catching up with you.
You as well.
Catch you later.
Mop Men, Inside the World of Crime Scene Cleaners, is in stores now.